Yep.
just to let you know, there's only one person here from the public, and I don't believe he's here for affordable housing. I believe he's here for a lot line revision. So, just to let you know what the crowd is here, because you can't see.
Yep, thank you.
But we should still go through the formality of everything. So I'm going to call the meeting to order right now. And since we have a public hearing scheduled for 7:30, I'm going to make a motion, entertain a motion to go to the public hearing, which is item number 6. Can I have a motion to go to item number 6, public hearing?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second on that?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
Chairman, excuse me, did you want to appoint the alternates as voting members this evening?
Yeah, well, everybody who's here is a voting member.
Okay.
And it's Scott Dale and Mark Lowenstein.
Lowengardt.
Lowen.
Yep, very nice.
I know it's Lowen, I always
Yep.
think it's the last
That
part. So, they're voting members tonight. Okay. So, I got a script I'm supposed to go through. Don't get too bored over there, Tim. I don't know if anybody in the public's watching or not, but we will assume they are. This is a regular meeting of the Brookfield Planning Commission. Tonight we will have a public hearing concerning the Town of Brookfield Affordable Housing Plan, Public Act 22-74, which requires each municipality to adopt an affordable plan no later than June 1st, 2022, and at least once every 5 years thereafter. The Commission has had time to review the plan, a copy of which was received by the town clerk on April 7th and posted on the town's website per Connecticut General Statute, Section 8-23. First, let me introduce the members of the Commission this evening. Sitting next to me is Linda Taylor, our Vice Chairman. Next to her is Scott Dale, an alternate member. Next to me, over on my right-hand side, is Michael DeBell, who's Secretary. And Mark Lowengardt, another alternate, is a voting member tonight. He's here also. Okay. And I'm John Van Heist, Chairman. Okay. I'm going to open the public hearing by calling on the Secretary to read the legal notice for the hearing. You got that there, Michael?
Just here, huh? Public hearing notice, the Town of Brookfield Planning Commission will hold a public hearing at 7:30 in room 133 at Town Hall, 100 Pocono Road, on 5/19/22, on its proposed affordable housing plan. At this hearing, interested persons may appear and be heard, and written communications will be received. Said plan is available for inspection in the town clerk's office or at www.brookfield.gov, dated 4/11/22. John Van Heist, Chairman.
Thank you, Michael. This application was formally received by the Commission from the Brookfield Land Use Department on April 7th, 2022. The public hearing is only one aspect of the approval process, and it is for the purposes of accepting factual information and data bearing on this application, and to allow expression of opinion by interested parties. Subsequent to this hearing, the Commission will render a decision on the proposed plan. The final decision may be in the form of approved as submitted, approved with amendments to the proposed plan, or denied. The application will be presented by Greg Dombrowski of the Economic Development Specialist. The Chair will entertain questions of clarification concerning the applicant's presentation. We will hear from those who wish to speak in favor of the proposed plan, followed by those who are opposed. Comments must be limited to 5 minutes. Members of the public will have one opportunity to speak during the subject of the hearing, and may also submit their concerns in writing during the public hearing. During this segment, the commissioners may ask additional questions. The bylaws of the commission allow only for the presentation of similar positions in succession and preclude the intermixture of comments of pro and con. All questions and comments must be directed through the chair. As you are recognized, please state your name and address, that comments may be legally recorded. Please be assured that everyone will be given the opportunity to speak. However, the commission is most interested in hearing factual information relative to the application. And in the view of time constraints placed upon us, we ask your indulgence in not reiterating comments previously presented. Okay, Greg, I think you're ready to go.
Okay, so can you all hear me okay?
Yes, you
Yeah.
can.
Okay, first of all, I want to apologize for not being able to be there in person tonight. I got hit with COVID on Saturday, and I'm sitting here quarantined at home. And believe me, I wish I could be with you instead of sitting here looking at four walls. Let me start by saying that the plan that is in front of you is the same one I presented to you about a month or month and a half ago. It's the same plan that has been shared with the Economic Development Commission, the Zoning Commission, and the Board of Selectmen. So all the comments I received have been incorporated into the version that's in front of you. If you would like, I can go through the entire plan again, or I can just hit a couple of highlights, really depending on what the public and what this commission would like to hear.
I think the commission would like to hear the highlights, and since we only have one person in the public and he's patiently waiting for his turn to do his thing with the lot line revision, I think the highlights probably will be sufficient.
Okay, so if I can, just maybe for 1 or 2 or 3 minutes, I'll talk about the highlights. First of all,
Okay.
this plan is an annex to the regional plan. If you go to Westcog's website, it'll show our plan and 8 other towns in our cog that are annexed to the regional plan, which is a 131-page document that has much, much more detail about housing, trends, and demographics in our town and across the region. This plan and all of the elements in it are supplemental to what's in the regional plan. So that is why, for example, there's not a lot more detail in our annexed plan. It's rather complex. It's rather succinct. It talks about a mission statement, a vision statement. It gives the overview and assessment of our zoning regulations, a housing needs assessment, and most importantly in this document are the strategies and goals over the next 5 years. And that's the last section in this plan. And to the credit of your commission, it was your suggestion that we put in our goals and strategy statement consistent language that we had in our POCD from 2015. So if you turn back to that section in this plan, you'll see I referenced the POCD and what our vision is for housing in Brookfield. Of course, the big change since then is not only the increase in housing we've had in town, but it's been the change in zoning regulations, and more recently, the sewer moratorium that has really put a hold really on any large commercial development until we find some more sewer capacity, and the town is actively working on that now. So this plan is in all of the action items were vetted, and I received a lot of comments, especially from Kurt Timmerman, and I'm comfortable that this plan is the right plan for Brookfield. I'll also mention if you read this plan, it talks about doing things on more of a regional basis. Affordable housing isn't just a Brookfield problem, it's a regional problem, a regional challenge, I should say. And we can't tackle it alone. And people like Ellen Melville, who runs the senior center and social services, is an advocate for us doing things on a regional basis as well. I've already suggested to First Select Woman Carr that once this plan's adopted, that we put together a task force across multiple towns to start working on our action items, because they're very similar to what other towns in Northern Fairfield County would like to accomplish. So without going to excruciating detail, which I'm happy to do, that's kind of the big picture, how we got here and where we're headed.
Thank you for the highlights, Greg. I'll open up the floor to the commission, see if anybody's got questions for you. Has anybody got a question for Greg? I think you do.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Scott.
Just one thought, when I was reviewing the documents prior to the meeting this evening, we have goals and we have strategies, and I think you touched on a regional follow-up to this. Is there a part of the plan, a follow-up to it, to measure and monitor the success of the plan? And is that something that that needs to be included in this document? So that's something that occurred to me this evening.
So my answer to that is we're required to, the only mandatory requirement is to update the plan every 5 years. The plan, in fact, no plan and no public act requires a deadline by which we must be at the 10% level. So for that reason, by the way, this is the first time that we're required to provide an affordable housing plan. Now we have to do it every 5 years. And I've been talking to Rochelle and Fran, and we think it makes sense to update our plan and cycle with the POCD. So I haven't answered your question directly yet, but let me hit it two ways. Instead of updating this plan every 5 years, for example, in 2022, then in 2027, what I think makes sense is we update this plan again when we update our POCD. And then every 5th year we update this plan, and then every 10th year we update them both together. So that gets us in sync with the POCD. But my plan, or the plan we have here, does not have any action items or deadlines before the next plan is due. It's simply a starting point. And one thing I've made clear to zoning, and they're on this, and to Tara, is we can't wait for 4 years to start working on this. We have to put a task force in place now, because achieving the goals that are required of us is going to take many, many, many years. And it's going to be an activity that takes more than land use. It's going to take the zoning commission and many others. So the direct answer to your question is no, there's no intermediate steps, but we cannot let this sit on the shelf for 4 years. We have to start working on it as soon as it's adopted. And that's been my suggestion to Tara Carr, that she put a task force in place and we get working on it immediately. If this commission feels, is that okay? That's all.
Go ahead. You go ahead. Comment.
Yeah, and I was speaking really to the 4 points that you have in part of as part of the goals. I really, do we need to, I guess, within those 5 years, is there a periodic look to see where we stand with those particular goals?
I think that's a great question. And maybe your commission ought to request I come to them quarterly or semi-annually for an update, and I'd be happy to do that. Maybe that's the check for you guys to come back to me, put me on your agenda, and ask for an update.
Good.
That sounds reasonable.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Just for clarification, the next POCD is going to be due in 2025, and we probably will have to start working on that in the latter half of 2023. It takes about a year, plus all the approvals, et cetera, that goes along with it. It's at least a year's process to do the thing. So probably want to start late 2023 to do that. So I think that also will go inside. I think his suggestion of incorporating this into POCD is probably a good idea, because it makes it probably, it's it's a tough process to go update the conservation plan, but, it's, when you do it, we usually have advisors and a lot of consultants with this. And it's probably a perfect time to have the affordability plan looked at also. So I think that's a good suggestion you made in that, Greg.
Yeah.
Any other comments? All right. I'm
Can I
gonna go
just add
move
one
to
comment?
formal.
Can
Go
I add one
ahead.
comment, John?
You can have all the comments you want, Greg.
The very first action item is about the sewer capacity. And I can tell you that gets a lot of attention today. Tara Carr is we're already working on a plan to seek IIJA money, that's federal infrastructure money. The WPCA has already commissioned a $1.5 million study, and that work has already been started to sewer the shores. That project is going to be not only to sewer the shores, but to increase Brookfield's capacity that gets us well beyond our need over the next 10 or 20 years. So that's our number one objective. And that one gets a lot of attention, and serious money is already being spent on that very activity.
Good. I know that there was an application to put this affordable housing moratorium. Did we ever make progress on that, or has that been put aside?
No, that's a great question, John. So we're still, the public comment section closed on, I think it was April 21st. The Department of Housing has 60 days after that date to make their final ruling. They have not ruled yet. We're waiting for their ruling. I will tell you, before the public comment section closed, we got 2 public comments, and both raised questions and concerns about our moratorium application. And I've asked the Department of Housing, what is their response going to be to those questions? And when can we expect them to make their ruling? And their comment back to me is, we will do it as soon as we can. But by state statute, they have 60 days from April 21st. So I am waiting with bated breath to see how they're going to rule, or if they have any questions of us.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for the update. Are there any other questions? Nobody, you don't have any questions on this, do you, Tim?
No.
Okay, no questions from the public, pro or con at this point in time. So at this point in time, I think we're at the point where the commission could say, thank you, Greg, we're going to do a vote right now on this. We got to render a decision on this plan. And remember, the final decision can be approved as submitted, approved with amendments to a proposed plan, or denied. I will entertain.
Gotta close the hearing.
I'm going to close the public hearing at the present time. All those in favor of closing the public hearing?
Need a motion.
I need a motion.
Make a motion.
Mark made a motion. All those, got a second? Second, what, Linda? Everybody in favor?
All right?
Aye. Anybody opposed? Abstains? No, okay. We now can do the vote, and I'll entertain a motion. Which way were we gonna go? Approve as submitted, I think, most of that.
I'll make the motion to approve as submitted.
Is there a second to that?
I'll second.
We got a second from Mark. All those in favor?
All right?
Aye. I think, Greg, it's approved as submitted. You can now go to the Board of Selectmen with the plan.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much. I
Bob.
appreciate your time, everyone.
sure.
And this is very helpful. It gets us through the process. And I will tell you, without this plan in place, it will be virtually impossible to get any grant money. Like every other grant that we apply for, they make sure we're up to date on all of the state mandates. And this is one of the new ones. So thank you very much.
quite welcome. And thank you for putting all that effort in, Greg. We appreciate it.
Yep, it was a learning experience. We'll talk to you all soon.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Greg.
Feel better.
Get well.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night. All right, make a motion to go back to item number 1. I believe. No, let's, hang on. Item number 5. And then we'll go back and get all the other readings we have to do here.
Anybody make that motion?
Item number 5A, Seven Forest Trail.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, got a motion from Michael, second on that? Second from Linda, all those in favor?
All right?
Aye. Okay, Mr. Deacon.
Good evening, members of the commission. Thank you for jumping to me. Greatly appreciate it. I live at 7 Forest Trail over at the County Lake Club. The CLC Owners Corp had sent out a message that they were interested in getting rid of some of their unused right-of-ways. And
So they are considered your neighbor?
they are the owner of this abutting parcel to the right of me.
Okay,
To the right of this parcel is the home of Shirley Zacara,
yep,
and the club approached, when I expressed interest in buying the parcel from the club, they had their own rule that I had to approach Mrs. Zacara to see if she was interested in splitting it or anything like that. She had made a written statement that she didn't have any interest in the lot, so they pursued me, and I knew when I had the surveying work done, I knew when it was time to finally record the Mylar that if I went to the town clerk's office, they'd say, you gotta take that over to land use, which I called Fran, and they quickly got the ball rolling and got me on the agenda.
okay,
I believe I've submitted everything that was requested in the application,
yep,
but my parcel is 7 Forest Trail, and the parcel that I bought from the club is marked as parcel X there. It's a portion of a huge parcel. I think it's somewhat like 80 acres. It was an unused portion to get to the 80 acres. There's many other ways to get out there.
okay.
And this just eliminates people ever using it. And, you know, my wife would love to have a garage, and we'd be able to increase our side yard. I'm not a big fan of the garage, but I did want to. I would point out that the pins are all noted on the map. I've provided you with the copies of the deeds to the current parcels, and a copy of the deed that's been signed by the.
So this is- The pins have already been placed in, great. Any questions on this, what Mr. Deacon's planning on doing?
Oh, you're just expanding your property, that's all. You're
Correct.
just taking it.
So
There's
it's
really no,
what you would call a lot merger?
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up. In the package of documents, one of the conditions of the deal was that this parcel be merged into my parcel, and you'll see the deed, that language was included that says, part of the consideration for this transaction was that the parcel that I'm obtaining from the Owners Corp be merged into my parcel.
Okay. And, so where you got the dotted line across there, that's the part you're cutting off,
That's the part,
and the rest stays with CLC?
everything behind that line is going to be with CLC.
Okay.
And the line is diagonal like that because it really just connected with the corner of the Zacara lot. That's why we did it that way and not just straight across.
Yeah,
This way, it went from my corner to Shirley Zacara's corner.
okay. I'm sure it makes them a happier neighbor. That way they don't really have to deal with the CLC, okay. Anybody got a question? No?
it's pretty straightforward.
Well, let's see. No questions? I'll entertain a motion to approve this lot merger. Somebody want to make that motion?
I'll make the motion.
Okay. Michael makes a motion to, have the lot merger as proposed by, Timothy and Deidre Deacon. 7 lot trail, Forest Trail. Is there a second on that?
I'll second.
We've got a second from Mark. All those in favor?
Aye?
Aye. Okay. All right. From our attorney, from our former attorney, I'm sorry, this is from Tom Petrie, he's not our attorney anymore, but he gave us rules on lot mergers. When the planning commission approves such a merger, it should be a condition of approval upon the fact that the chairman will not sign the Mylar map, that's me, until the applicant provides an original merger deed, properly prepared and signed conveyance tax form, and the Mylar, and a check to cover the cost of recording both the deed and the Mylar in the Brookfield land records. Don't give it to me now, give it to the land use department. They'll give me a call. I'm retired now, so they give me a call. Usually I come down within the same day, so.
Okay, I'll submit those, tomorrow. I've got the map, I have the,
So,
original deed in my briefcase.
there you go.
I'll drop it off there tomorrow morning.
Okay?
All right, thank you very much.
Been business doing pleasure with you.
We'll see you later, enjoy your evening.
Yeah, you too. Thank you, Tim. All right. Let's go back to the original agenda.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Do we need to schedule something as we discussed, just before, with regard to the affordable housing, the follow-up that was suggested?
Well, let's make sure it gets approved. It's supposed to be approved in June.
Yep.
So what I would say that we would want a follow-up meeting with Greg sometime in September.
Fair enough.
Give him quarterly is probably appropriate.
So I'll note in the minutes to have the land use office just like put a reminder somewhere to add to the September agenda.
Yeah.
We will have a meeting.
All right, let's go back to approval of minutes of previous meetings, which is item number 3. Motion to go back to item number 3. Somebody want to second that? Second over there by Scott. All in favor? Aye. Okay, we're at minutes of the last meeting, which was May 5th. I didn't see anything that needed changing or correction, but maybe somebody else had better eyes than I did.
Do we have enough of a quorum to vote?
Well, let's see.
Mike was
Yeah,
here,
that's
John
what-
was here, I know Linda wasn't here,
No,
Scott wasn't here, Mark, were you here? for
No, I
that?
was not here.
Wasn't, no.
We'll have to table those.
Now we're gonna have to table them.
Okay.
I think you're right, we don't have a quorum for that from that meeting. We did that, old minutes, okay, I think we're ready for correspondence. Yeah, we got minutes of other minutes. Let me see if I can find that stuff. Oh, here we go, somewhere here. Here we go. Yeah. Should be noted for the record on the past one that Ralph Tedesco did write that he had no problem with that revision.
Oh, good.
Okay. Zoning minutes of April 28th, 7 PM.
I have one question.
Go right ahead.
I think they had a meeting just last week. Okay, so we're not really looking at the most recent meeting. I'm certain it's all timing, but we're reviewing a meeting that took place 3 weeks ago as opposed to one that just took place, so we're not.
We're reviewing the minutes of April 25th, 28th.
Correct.
That's
Right.
right.
Right, my point is, should we not be reviewing minutes of the most recent meeting? If that is logistically possible.
I'm wondering if it's because they weren't approved. Might my dates correct? Let's see.
They,
We're May 19th.
One was
and
canceled,
that's
too.
12, right?
they are posted now, but they wouldn't have made it in
Right,
time for
I'm
the packet
wondering,
here.
yeah, I'm just wondering if it's because the minutes of the 12th of May have not been approved because they won't see them until the 26th? I'm guessing.
I don't know,
They're
or
posted
they
right
may
now.
not have been posted
They're
yet.
posted right now, but.
Well, if they were
time
posted,
But is it
required
a
to-
draft posting or an I don't know. I'm
That's
just
true, they may not
guessing.
approve until the next meeting.
They will, that's what I'm saying,
I
those
see,
might be
I
their
see.
approved ones in case there are things that need to
they
be
may not have
approved.
approved them
They
yet.
want you to see, yeah, I'm guessing, I don't
Yep.
know the protocol in the office, so.
Yeah, I didn't pick up on their meetings. She sent the packet over to me and I printed it off, so.
Mhm. The end result.
I
is
know
that-
what you're.
The end result is
yeah.
that we're reviewing information that's 3 weeks old. That's
Yeah, I know,
right, yeah.
I know.
Mhm.
However, I did discuss the, one that we've talked about a little bit here, about the proposed moratorium on retail sales.
Mhm.
And, they're still waiting for what the attorneys think. So, they are continuing their proposed moratorium, which, well, as of 3 weeks ago. Okay? And I didn't see anything else that jumped out at me at that time. A lot of businesses, Fran Lally going out there doing his thing with, people being a little bit, putting stuff in their yard, they should be putting stuff in their yard, like big ground graders and things like that.
Contractor's yard.
Yeah, contractor tools, yeah. Good somebody going around doing that. And remember, we used to have a guy on Route 25, used to have his whole yard full of all the construction equipment for years. Yeah. Okay, next one is, May 2nd. That's a little closer. That's 17 days ago. Board of Selectmen meeting. And she's got a couple of things here, let's see. Some of the announcements that may be of interest to folks here is Coffee with the Community. It's gonna be held Saturday the 28th. They had the referendum on the, budget the other day. Got the Memorial Day parade set for the 29th of May, 28th of May, 29th, at 2 p.m. Comes down from the high school, right by my house, and down to Williams Park, and then they break up usually around the, St. Joe's Church. And, anything else jump out at me? Nothing else jumped out at me on this. Anybody got comments about the Board of Selectmen minutes of, May 2nd? No? Okay. And you got the Zoning Board of Appeals that also met on May 2nd. And, it was basically all residential. There wasn't really anything here that's, it's pretty much business as usual for these guys. People worrying about sheds and having enough room for them. And, then we got an inland wetlands meeting May 9th. It's only 10 days ago. Yeah, they have some concern about some of that construction work that's going on Federal Road down by where the new shopping center is supposed to be with the store and the next door.
Yeah.
They're still having some issues with that. So they are, at this point in time, continuing their stuff. 701 is being continued, and 719 was being continued. Braesbridge Road, there's a self-storage building, and they still haven't satisfied with some of the wetlands possible incursion, so they're going to continue that one. So they got several things going on that impact some of the businesses in town, but, we'll get there eventually, get them approved. And in their new business, they got two right now that they're continuing, but they also have a new business where they want to connect the driveway between 731 and 701 Federal Road, so that you can go from one parking lot to the next parking lot. Right now, all you do is see the dirt over there and the pile. It's the one across from, Dunkin' Donuts.
Portobello,
New
yep.
Dunkin' Donuts. Or, yeah, right around there. 701 and 731, that's
I think that's the grocery store.
the grocery
Right.
store, yeah, right. I'm right, okay.
They have-
Comments on
they have
wetlands?
there, right?
They do.
I'm not sure why Nina sent this to us. Have you experienced with this thing, proposed Connecticut General Statute and subsection as amended by Public Act 2129 concerning temporary health structures?
Maybe just as informal, that's in front of zoning or.
It's in front of zoning. No, when I read through it, it says there may be some planning action. It says planning and zoning, and so they may come to us to.
It may, yeah, it's in front of with the town attorneys right now, so.
Okay.
It's really on those granny pods. That's what zoning's really looking for.
I'll just show you, if you see it in your packet. I'm not delving in it in any way. Our attorneys are saying that we may get involved with having to approve this. Zoning has to approve it too, so. That's all I had. Informal discussion time. Anybody's got anything for informal discussion?
I was just gonna ask about the, problem with the wetlands where they're building the grocery store. I don't know if we know what's going on there. I know, when they do test pits,
Yeah,
and
maybe.
it's like,
It's still in front of wetlands over there, 701 Federal, 731's been approved.
Yeah.
They're looking to put another, mixed-use building just to the south of the, grocery store. So,
Is that where they wanted to put Starbucks or?
yeah, well,
Yeah.
731 is the Starbucks, that's a lot 33.
Okay,
701 is the one just south.
okay. So,
And they still haven't put the sign down where Amazon, so, right?
No.
I haven't been there in 2 days, so I don't know.
no refrigerators yet, right? Refrigeration, they couldn't get going.
Yeah, well, when I was in there, I want to say maybe 2 weeks ago, I did a walkthrough inspection. All the shelving was all done wrong, so they have to redo all the shelving.
Oh, wow.
Something with the numbers. I don't know, Amazon's very picky, they wanted everything numbered certain ways, and now they changed it all, so it's just, I don't know.
I think they'd have that down with all the warehouse.
Right, yeah.
The last thing I heard was that they were waiting on some parts for the refrigeration units that they couldn't get or whatever. The manufacturer was backed up, back ordered or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, everything's in down there. I mean, they have their hot food section, everything's there. Signage is all up in there and stuff. It's just, yeah, there's nothing stocked and shame.
Well, July 4th is coming.
Yeah, next year.
Whatever happened
We'll
to
see.
that apartment complex that we approved that was by the cemetery, but in back of Del Primo? That was like years ago.
Yeah,
Nothing ever
they
happened there.
No, nothing's happened there.
That was just resold too.
Oh, was it?
Cambria Hospital, or the individual, Mr.
Yeah.
Matikow, who was the agent for that property, they sold that property.
Oh, wow.
So.
It looked like a nice apartment and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have helped probably our affordable, because they had affordable in there too.
Yeah, that's right. Would've brought up our,
Yeah.
And the barnyard was knocked down. I don't know if anybody noticed that, the old barnyard building, that was taken down a couple weeks ago too, so,
Yes,
so.
seen it.
Okay, guys, if there's nothing else for informal hearing, I'm gonna let Linda make her motion.
I know, really. Motion to adjourn?
Please second that.
I'll second.
We got a second over here in Michael. He's learning. All those in favor?
Aye?
Aye.